What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to TTP Sports. The Phillies get a huge win in Game 1 against the St. Louis Cardinals. They come back down from 3-0 and win the game by a score of 5-3. The bullpen was absolutely dominant in this game. Really big, just a big pick-me-up when you have Bailey Falter on the mound. He gives up 3 runs, both of those, thanks to Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado, who hit a cycle in this game, so that's basically how hot he has been. And then really the timely hitting in the beginning of this game for the Phillies wasn't the best. They had a couple of chances with runners in scoring position and did not come up at all. But then later on in the ball game, it got a lot better. Mickey Moniak actually got a hit. That was an extra base hit. I've never seen that before in my life since spring training. My goodness, I thought we were never going to see it. And Derek Hall hits another home run, so that's 3 home runs in the past 2 games for him. And Rhys Hoskins goes deep as well, but basically no credit enough to the bullpen. The bullpen was the reason why the Phillies were able to win this game. Nick Nelson comes out there. Jose Alvarado does Jose Alvarado things. He made it stressful, but he managed to allow 0 runs. Andrew Bellotti did well in the 7th inning. Sir Anthony Dominguez being Sir Anthony Dominguez. And then Brad Hand was dominant in the 9th inning. So overall, yeah, like I said, just a really good game by the bullpen and a good win by this Phillies team against a huge opponent that they're fighting for in the wild card spot, and that they're going to be playing this team a lot in the next week and a half span. You're playing this 3-game series, and then next weekend you're going to be playing in St. Louis for a 4-game series. So you're going to be getting pretty familiar with the Cardinals here. And freaking Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, my goodness, can they stop? Every time they felt like they got up the bat, they were getting on base. How good those two have been this year. My goodness. Every time it felt like Bailey Falter out there, he was retiring everyone besides Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, and those were the guys that were doing damage basically the entire game. Like overall, I thought Bailey Falter did okay. It was basically like I described. He got everyone else out besides the 2 biggest guys in their lineup, Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, where he was basically just throwing them meatballs and they were hitting them. Basically all how it went. Top of the 1st inning, Arenado gets an RBI triple after a Paul Goldschmidt 2-out single. And then Arenado once again with 2 outs after a Paul Goldschmidt double. He hits a home run. So basically, Nolan Arenado almost basically went backwards for the cycle. He tripled first, home run, double, then single. I know a lot of people want to question the single that he had in the 8th inning, but I believe entirely that was a single. But still, overall, just a very good game by this Phillies team, a very huge win by this Phillies team, and I'm very excited for that. So before we get into the rest of this game, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. If you are new to the channel, I definitely recommend hitting that subscribe button if you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events. This is the place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on the outcome. And if you are a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sport down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So basically, any tickets you want, Phillies games that you want, it's a great deal. $20 in your pocket, which avoids the fees. Use it for parking. Anything else you can think of, it's a great deal. Do not pass it up. Use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. Phillies bullpen. Overall, the Phillies bullpen was just absolutely dominant in this game. If you take away Bailey Falter, Phillies bullpen had 10 strikeouts and only walked 2 people and only allowed 2 hits. So overall, really good. Really, really, really good. And they were the main reason why you won this game. Looking at Bailey Falter's stat line, he went 4 innings, 5 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and the home run allowed to Nolan Arenado on 66 pitches. Basically, I'm still not the biggest fan of throwing Bailey Falter out there every 5 days with his Zack Eflin injury. And who knows how much longer Zack Eflin is even going to be out for, because that whole knee situation is always going to be tricky because he had the surgery on that same knee last year, and it's bothering him again now. He's on the 15-day deal. I doubt we'll see him before the All-Star break. So it's a very questionable situation. I do think the Phillies do maybe need to go out there and get another, veteran starting pitcher. Maybe do the same thing like he did with getting a Kyle Gibson last year. Just another guy that could be in the back end of the rotation. Or maybe, who knows, maybe Dave Dombrowski does something else. We just got to wait and see. But still, not the biggest, even though Bailey Falter wasn't bad, he was okay. He was okay, but I'm not like a biggest fan of if you're going to throw Bailey Falter out there every 5 days and he's only going to go 4 or 5 innings, I don't think that's the best idea in the world, because your bullpen's not going to be this dominant every time Bailey Falter is out there. And thank God the bullpen was dominant after Bailey Falter came out of this game, because looking at the rest of the bullpen stats, Nick Nelson pitched an inning in the third, allowed 1 hit and struck out 2 on 30 pitches. Jose Alvarado finished the job in the 6th inning. He allowed a walk, but he struck out 2. Location was all over the place. That's basically the entire Jose Alvarado experience. Ange Bellotti came in for that 7th inning. He allowed a walk, but he managed to pick off that guy at first base, so no harm done there. He struck out 2 batters as well on 21 pitches. Seranthony Dominguez had allowed a hit in the 8th inning, which was the Nolan Arenado cycle. So basically all that, no harm done there, and 2 strikeouts for him on 15 pitches. So Seranthony Dominguez continues to be Seranthony Dominguez. His ERA drops to 1.57. Brad Hand, dominant in the 9th inning. The slider and the curveball were just not all over the place. It was dominant. He was feeling it in that 9th inning. Struck out 2 on 16 pitches, and he got the save. ERA drops to 2.22. And like I said earlier, the Phillies offense wasn't really good with the timely hitting to start off this game. They had a lot of chances with runners in scoring position. So if you go into the top of the 1st inning for the Cardinals, Bailey Falter gets the first 2 outs, but then he allows a 2-out single to Paul Goldschmidt, and then Nolan Arenado absolutely crushes a triple to deep center field, barely missed going out, scores Goldschmidt, becomes a 1-0 lead. Go bottom of the 1st inning for the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber and Rhys Hoskins both lead off to get on base in the inning. Kyle Schwarber singles and Rhys Hoskins walks. Nick Castellanos grounds into a fielder's choice. The force out gets Schwarber out at 3rd. So still 2 runners on with 1 out. Derek Hall grounds out. So you got 2nd and 3rd for Didi Gregorius, and he flies out. So that's a runner in scoring position chance. Nothing done there. Bottom of the 2nd inning, they go down 1-2-3. Then you go top 3 for the Cardinals. Another 2-out hit for Paul Goldschmidt, and another 2-out RBI for Nolan Arenado as he hit the 2-run shots to make it 3-0 Cardinals. Then you go bottom 3rd. 1 out for Kyle Schwarber. He singles, the deep right goes off the wall, basically hit on a laser. It was hit too hard to where he couldn't get a double. Then Rhys Hoskins walked, so you get a 1st and 2nd situation for Nick Castellanos, and he grounds into a double play. So after Nick Castellanos' great day at the plate yesterday, he goes for another 0 for today, which I do not like seeing. Pick it up tomorrow. Bottom of the 4th inning for the Phillies. They go down 1-2-3. Then you go bottom of the 5th. This is when the Phillies wake up. Garrett Stubbs, he reaches on by a surprise fielding error by Nolan Arenado. He blundered it at 3rd base, and he missed the ball. Then Matt Vierling got a single, so you get a 1st and 2nd situation with no out for Mickey Moniak. And you're thinking to yourself right here, okay, easy out, Mickey Moniak. He's either going to ground out, pop up, or strike out. Surprisingly, no. Actually got a good wood on it, and he smacked a double into the gap, scored a run, gets 2nd and 3rd out there, becomes a 3-1 ball game. Kyle Schwarber, and the umpire tonight behind the plate was god-awful. Midway, basically going halfway into this game. That's when it starts to get really, really, really brutal. My goodness. You could not tell what the strike zone was. Like, seriously, I'm going through this ball game, like the early parts of the ball game when it's still 3-0 Cardinals. Like, I get John Kruk and Tom McCarthy talking about, John Kruk's talking about, history lessons from his youth with, I guess, his brother or something like that. And they're talking about, how both of them don't have licenses and they have to steal a car, so that something like that. It was a weird, funny story. I'm basically like, okay, is this what this ball game's going to be? But then you go into that bottom of the 5th inning as I hear the fireworks go off behind me from the Phillies game. So hopefully you guys don't hear that. But I digress. It was a weird ball game overall. The strike zone was goddamn awful. And that's going to continue going on in the rest of the game. It happened during this Kyle Schwarber at bat as well, to where there was a strike that he didn't like. That probably should have been a ball. It was called a strike, but still he got a productive out. And it was scoring an RBI. And it becomes a 3-2 ball game for the Phillies. And then Rhys Hoskins, more timely hitting. He hits a sac fly to center field, scores Mickey Moniak. It becomes a 3-3 game right there. Sorry for looking down at my phone. I'm getting a text message right here. So let me answer that real quickly. So continuing to the ball game after I answer that text message. Nick Nelson basically out there from the 5th inning on. He does his work. And then you get Jose Alvarado Coming in, there was a couple of runners on there. Nick Nelson allowed a double to Nolan Arenado. Then Jose Alvarado got a walk, and then he managed to get the rest of the innings, the out for the inning in the 6th. Then you go bottom 6th. Phillies respond instantly after Jose Alvarado doesn't allow a run. Derek Hall, once again, crushes the ball, goes out. His 3rd home run in as many days. Becomes a 4-3 Phillies lead. Phillies do get a couple of base runners in this inning as well. Stott got a single, then the pitching change happened. Vierling walked, but nothing happened there for Mickey Moniak. Surprise, surprise, he's not going to get every hit with the runners in scoring position we wish we did. He did. Bilotti comes out for the 7th inning. He allows the 1-out walk. He picks off the guy at first base, and then basically no harm done there. Go bottom of the 7th inning for the Phillies. Schwarber gets out on 1 pitch. So basically the first 2 pitches of this inning. Schwarber lines out to center field. Cardinals make a pitching change. They bring in the next pitcher. He throws 1 pitch to Rhys Hoskins as John Kruk is yelling at Greg Luzinski in the broadcast booth. Rhys Hoskins crushes it to center field, goes over the wall as a home run. Funny moment there as John Kruk is yelling. Rhys Hoskins hits a bomb and becomes a 5-3 Phillies lead. And then you get the Nick Castellanos, which should have been a flyout, but Yepez dropped the ball, was a clear, easy pop-up to catch. He dropped it. Nick Castellanos should have been at second base on it. He was originally at first, but then he managed to steal second base. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because the rest of the Phillies guys in that inning got out. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter there. Top 8 for the Phillies. Seranthony Dominguez comes in, strikes out Paul Goldschmidt, which was huge. It was a 3-2 count. Got behind in the count 3-1, worked back 3-2, couple of foul balls, and he managed to strike out. Then Nolan Arenado, I think it was an 0-2 count or 1-2 count or something like that. He hits a hard ground ball over the Matt Vierling. Pops out of his glove, goes into the infield. Then Matt Vierling, for some reason, tries to throw this ball, and he completely overshoots Rhys Hoskins. Seriously, he was throwing this to the 3rd deck. Nolan Arenado manages to go to second base. So the scoring on this play was an infield single and an error on Matt Vierling. So I'm guessing they're judging it by Nolan Arenado probably would have been safe regardless because Matt Vierling did fumble the ball over there at 3rd base. So he gets the cycle, but Seranthony Dominguez gets out of the inning. No harm done, basically. Get Yepez to strike out, and then he gets a ground out. So no harm done. Nolan Arenado, you get your cycle, but hey, the Phillies win the ball game. 9th inning, Brad Hand comes out, gets 1-2-3, strikes out 2 batters. All she wrote there. Phillies, they are 4 games above 500. They are 41-37. Looking at the lineup today, Kyle Schwarber, fantastic day at the plate. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Rhys Hoskins went 1 for 1 with 2 walks and 2 RBIs, so he had a fantastic day at the plate. Nick Castellanos, like I said earlier, another 0 for a day. Just go right tomorrow. If it's still like the day you had yesterday, you go 0 for today. Like, I'm kind of disappointed in that. Kind of wish you would have at least a hit in this ball game. He got on base with an error, but on the end of the day, does that count? Derek Hall goes 1 for 4 with the solo shot. Didi Gregorius 0 for in this ball game. Bryson Stott 1 for 4. Garrett Stubbs 0 for 4. Matt Vierling 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Mickey Moniak 1 for 4 with an RBI. Runners in scoring position in this game. Phillies went 1 for 9. They left 7 runners on base. That's granted with every runner they had in this ball game. Mickey Moniak went 1 for 2. He was surprisingly their only hit with runners in scoring position in this ball game. Didi Gregorius went over 2 with runners in scoring position. Schwarber went over 1. Hall went over 2. And Nick Castellanos went over 2 with runners in scoring position. But still, it's still an issue. I'm not denying that. It's still an issue with the runners in scoring position, but the timely hitting did get better as the ball game went on. When you get your Mickey Moniak RBI hit double, then you get the Kyle Schwarber ground out in the Rhys Hoskins sack fly. So, and then you get the home run at the end of the ball game as well. So that also helps at the same time. Man, those fireworks are really going on out there. Hopefully you guys are not hearing that. But still, overall, a good win by this Phillies team. Good win. They get the first win in this huge series. Just overall, like I said, it's funny. Jose Alvarado gets the win in this ball game as well. So that is a pretty funny thing right there. So we look at the rest of this series for this upcoming 2 games against the St. Louis Cardinals. Going to have tomorrow. I'm going to think that game is at 4:05. You're going to have Kyle Gibson going up against Matthew Liberatore. He is 2-1 on the season with a 4 ERA, 15 strikeouts, and a 1.61 whip. So it basically kind of looks like he hasn't been pitching that much this season. His last game against the Pirates on the 14th, he went 5 innings, 3 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts. On the 2nd against the Chicago Cubs, 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 strikeout. Against the Brewers, 5 innings, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. So basically, right now it kind of looks like he's a bullpen guy that converted to a starter, or he hasn't played that many games this year from the looks of it. Okay, here we go. So he probably just got called up, and he's only started 4 games this year. Okay, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense right there. So he hasn't gone deep really into any of the ball games that he's went to this year. 5 innings, 3 1/3, 5 innings, 4 2/3. So this guy is definitely hittable. 4 earned runs allowed. He's allowed 8 earned runs, 4 earned runs in one start, and 4 earned runs in another start. So got to find a way there. Got to find a way to win tomorrow. You're going to get Kyle Gibson on the bump. With all the bullpen arms used in this game, kind of want Kyle Gibson to go at least 6 innings. Not going to expect 7, 8 innings out of him like he did against Miami a couple of weeks ago. But I would like a nice 6-inning ball game, maybe stretch it to 7 so you can get your bullpen some rest, because then Sunday night you're going to have a 7 o'clock ESPN national television broadcast with Zack Wheeler on the bump going up against Adam Wainwright. He is 6-5 on the season with a 3.07 ERA, 76 strikeouts, and a 1.25 whip. 40 years old, and Adam Wainwright is still a pretty decent pitcher. Looking at his past few starts, on the 27th against the Miami Marlins, he went 7 innings, 7 hits allowed, and 9 strikeouts, no earned runs. 22nd against the Brewers, 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs allowed, 7 strikeouts. The 17th against the Boston Red Sox, 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs allowed, 5 strikeouts. The Cincinnati Reds, 7 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. So basically, Adam Wainwright can go at least 7 innings. So that's basically what he's been averaging at least in his past couple of games. So going to have your money's worth right here. Tomorrow's definitely going to be a very important game for the offense once again to get some runs on the board against a very inexperienced pitcher in the big leagues. I would like to see a win tomorrow, especially with Kyle Gibson on the bump, and then you can set up possibly a win with Zack Wheeler on the mound Sunday. I would like, to get a win tomorrow to just, set this series in stone and, set up for something going next week into St. Louis, showing that the Phillies do mean business. So yeah, that's basically what we're looking at right here. And if we're looking at the upcoming games after this Cardinals series, you're off Monday on July the 4th, and you have a 3-game home series against the Washington Nationals. Ranger Suarez, Arenado is going to be on the bump. Most likely, it'll be Bailey Falter once again in the back end of that series on the Thursday. And then when you play the Cardinals again for that 4-game series next week, you're going to have your 4 main guys on the mound that series: Kyle Gibson, Zack Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, and Aaron Nola. It's going to be a huge series. This is a huge stretch for this team against the St. Louis Cardinals. Got to find a way it wins. You are chasing them in the wild card spot. Important games. Definitely important games. But I'm very happy with the way they won today. Bullpen was huge. Bullpen was very huge in this game. Channel name says Paul Goldschmidt is a beast. That is true. He's most likely going to win the MVP this year. Scott says, first of all, congrats, Nolan. Well done. Most important, the bullpen, 5 innings, 2 hits, 10 Ks. You can't touch this. Yeah. Honestly, how do you feel in that dugout after you get a cycle and you lose the ball game? You probably feel terrible, because at the end of the day, you don't care about the cycle. You care about winning ball games. So I don't know how Nolan Arenado feels at this point. Channel name says, thank you for recaps as always. I appreciate that, man, and no problem. I recap every game. That's what I'm here for. Scott says, the Cards are supposed to be a team that doesn't make mistakes. Nolan Arenado's error and Tommy Edman getting picked off at first base sure helped the Phillies win. Oh, yeah, that was definitely a huge help. That Nolan Arenado error in, what was it, the 5th, 6th inning? That sparked a rally for this Phillies team. So that was huge. For your 70 years, you always believed in one game at a time, but after Sunday, there is a chance the boys could be 1/2 game up in the final playoff spot. I hope I did not give them the man. Just don't jinx them, Scott. Definitely do not jinx them at all. Really, just don't do it. Just don't do it. But still, overall, a good win by this Phillies team. Can't deny that. Cannot deny that at all. So tomorrow you get that 4 o'clock game. Probably won't be home to watch it. So depending on the recap, it'll probably be tomorrow night. It probably won't be directly after. It'll probably be like a little bit later in the nighttime. So I'll definitely peek into the Phillies game when I can. But tomorrow's going to be a weird one. Weekend. You'll have to apologize, Scott. Oh, man. Oh, man. But still, overall, it was a good night. Definitely a good night there. So I'm going to call it here, everyone. What are your thoughts on this game and everything like that? If you are late to the video or tuning it when it's not live, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to read those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description below, the Painted Lions, BrodesMedia, everything like that. I recommend that. I also recommend hitting that subscribe button and also using the code TTPSports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.